Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot, Earth Signs. So nice to have you here. So we are still in the energies of the Taurus, the Earth energies right now with the full moon. And it was a couple of nights ago, but it's still definitely feeling it in a lot of ways. So this reading will be for November 8 through 14. For all the signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And so as we begin, there may be resonance with you or there may not. Allow your heart to feel and hear what is meant for you today, since this is a general reading. Please put a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can get these videos every week as they come out for your signs. And then at the end, in the extended, we will have the 3 different signs, earth signs. We'll be pulling a shaman card and clarifying that, and those really have some great energies. So let's begin by asking for guidance from the divine. So I'd like to start with the energies of the Animal Oracle deck from Colette, Baron-Reid. So we're looking for some of the overall energies and feelings for this week of November 8 through 14. Okay. So Earth signs, they have the Nightingale, love is all around, as the top card, and then the underneath, which has to do with kind of like the energies of things we may not totally know about or be aware about in our lives, is the skunk. Know your worth. Okay, so these are some of my favorite cards. This is exciting. The Nightingale comes to us when times are the darkest and sings a song. It reminds us to sing in those hard times because singing always makes it better. You think of the spirituals and some of the most beautiful music written in some of the hardest times. And so singing music in the hardest times really helps. Even if you're not that great of a singer, if you're not around a lot of people, you still won't offend them. You can sing a little bit. But singing truly is a blessing. And the message of love is all around. Is that even in those darkest times, this song of love comes to us and comes to our hearts. And so, because the nightingale sings just before the sun comes up, so the sun is right around the horizon. And I know this time is kind of dark for us. This week is very dark in some ways. Some people are going to be happy about the election, some won't. I don't know, the cards I pulled all said that no one will be happy. So I don't know exactly what that means, but I have a feeling that we may not know the answer right away. Know your worth. So the skunk comes to us beautiful. I love, when I was growing up, we did have a skunk spray under our house and it really stunk. And my dad went to work and he made the whole office stink. And they're like, don't come to work when you smell like a skunk. But otherwise, we'd be driving down the road at night on the way home after something at church. It'd be dark. And all of a sudden the lights from our car would shine on a family of skunks. Daddy, mommy, and like 3 little babies, and they're all in a line walking together. And with humans, we might look at that and think, oh, they're being oppressed. But for them, we would look at it and just see, this beautiful white and black in the headlights, all walking, trotting along together. To me, it was such a beautiful, beautiful sight. And so the skunk is saying, not everyone is going to see you as a good thing or something that they're really excited about, but know your own personal worth. Know who you are inside. And no matter what you're facing in life, you are that solid person that you're supposed to be. Okay, so that's the energies of to begin the reading. So let's take a look at the tarot or signs. So we have this tarot deck that I'm starting to use. I really love. It's called Guardians of the Night, and you can find about all of the tarot decks that I use down below in the description. And so there may be some that you see there as well that you're like, oh, I'd like to see what that's about. And some of the favorite ones I've seen other people use, and I just had to snatch up. So, and then also there's some books down there that are books that I really enjoyed reading. And let's take a look at the energies. So as we go like this, we can place Reiki energy that's in my hands into the deck. And so that has a little blessing. It helps us to be directed toward the card that we're looking for. Okay, so the center of the reading is the Five of Swords. The Ace of Swords is the underneath, the foundation. So 2 swords so far, so definitely some thinking this week. 9 of Wands. There's the other one, the skunk and the porcupine. 2 of the creatures you don't necessarily want to run into at the wrong time or have your dog run into. All right, the Emperor. So the 9 of Wands is the benefit for us. And the thing that will benefit us this week. The Emperor is in our crown chakra, in our thoughts, our imaginations, our minds. What is crowning us? The Emperor. And the outcome card is the 9 of Pentacles. And the underneath of the deck is the King of Cups. So again, the underneath the deck is really those, I kind of like to think of it as like the moon energies. You know, the things that we don't see as clearly, that our higher self is really wanting to bring out in the reading, kind of as an overall energy. The King of Cups, in this case, is an orca. And he's balancing a cup on his nose. And so it is true that some orcas do live their lives and even are born in captivity and continue on living their entire lives, doing little tricks to please people. And so that's kind of something I'm really being drawn to that. And that it's okay to put aside those things, to no longer do little tricks to please other people, but instead be the great King of Cups out in the Pacific Ocean, the Pacific Puget Sound, that, you know, jump in their majesty and glory and, you know, help lead their pods. And they have a real strong sense of their own worth, their value, of their you know, feelings and emotions and what's coming out of them, but they're a little aloof from the rest of people. So they certainly aren't somebody who plays any games. So I think it's asking you this week, look at yourself closely. Say, are there ways that I'm just playing games and being childish? I mean, not like the childlike, you know, where you go and have some fun, but childish, you know, where you're just playing games to please other people. And we can set that aside and we can become the great master leader of this world, you know, one of them. Okay, so in the center of the reading, the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords to me is one of those destiny cards that you get to choose the outcome. So you can either be really upset that all these trees were cut down and there's all this death around you and all of these kind of broken down buildings, or you can be at peace with this beautiful, you know, kind of like stag or deer of some kind, you know, just enjoying his life and being happy. And so you can make a choice. You can choose, what are you going to focus your mind on this week? What are you going to pay attention to? And I think that's really great, especially when a lot of things that are going on right now, the worldwide coronavirus, the national in the U.S., you know, we have the elections. It affects the rest of the world in some ways, but not as maybe dramatically or as importantly. But whatever happens or wherever things go, we can choose where our focus is going to be. You know, are we going to focus on the negative or the positive? And I wonder sometimes if the person that becomes the president is the one that has the most people that think more about him than his opponent. Because if you think about the opponent and how much you don't like them, you're actually manifesting them into the world. But if you think about the person that you want and how wonderful that would make you feel, you're more likely to manifest them into your life. So it's kind of something new that I've been learning, like from Abraham Hicks, is, you know, where our focus is, where our happiness lies. Yes, we can see the contrast, and contrast is good, but only to help us move into those energies of what we really want. So the Ace of Swords coming in underneath, you know, when I see this one underneath, I'm like, it's kind of poking me. It's kind of hurting. It's like poking up out of the flower, and it's kind of uncomfortable. And I think that sometimes something new, a new direction, new inspiration can be a little bit uncomfortable, because it's something that we're not used to or not ready for in all ways. But at the same time, if we don't just go for it and do it, we won't really have the experience that's being offered to us. So this week, there may be some things in your grounding, earth signs, in your grounding elements that are going to be pushing up through the soil, pushing you upwards into a place that you're a little uncomfortable, but it's the right place to be. And so in the Nine of Wands is our benefit. So during this week, as things are kind of mulling around in your head, the benefit is to see the the Nine of Wands has to do with fighting that battle alone and winning, and standing there courageous and holding. The 9 is coming near the end of the cycle. The 10 is the end of those burdens. The 9 is you still have them, but they're not as dramatic as they were. And I'm noticing that she used the quills from the porcupine as the wands, and that there's a coyote coming up, and it'll be curious to see, will the coyote's curiosity of the porcupine make him end up getting quills in his nose? Or will his former knowledge and understanding of porcupines, or maybe even innate, genetic understanding, keep him carefully away? So how wise is this particular creature? And the porcupine doesn't really mean to hurt you, but it is going to protect itself. And, it's very beautiful in its own right. They love going up into trees and getting up high, and but in all that, they don't really mean, so that there may be some things that'll happen this week that people don't mean to hurt you, but they do, and they don't really. Their intention is not to harm, but in order to say the truth or to give the truth, that's the way it'll be. So the benefit, I think, will be actually giving the benefit of the doubt. So as you go through life, as you're trying to look at the positive, as you're being uncomfortable with some of the new things, give other people the benefit of the doubt as you go through as you go through the week. And the Emperor comes to you, and it's really great to have that Aries energy, the Emperor, the identity, the strength of your mind in your mind. And so, you know, he stands here in a lot of power and authority. It's interesting because her other owls are all white, and this one is definitely not a white owl. He has a lot of different colors to him. And in the background is the ram of the Aries. You can see the little ram back there. And he has feathers, almost like he has conquered another feathered creature. But the owl, you know, often represents wisdom and understanding. But it also can represent quietly waiting until just the right time to pounce. And so it could be that our minds, we need to calm our minds like an owl does, and listen carefully, calmness, listen carefully, seeing what's there, and then at the right moment, moving forward and taking action. So the outcome of the Nine of Pentacles, it's a bear in hibernation, dreaming about all of his pentacles, his fish, his food, his abundance. And if you think about it, I mean, the bear truly lives in that abundant time. He walks around, he or she benefits from all that abundance. And then when things feel a little more lacking in the winter, he just goes to sleep and waits till the abundance comes back. And so there are times when we'll need to hibernate, withdraw, have kind of that hermit attitude. But as we do, we can know that, you know, the abundance is growing for us in the universe. Okay, so those are the tarot message for this week. And I hope that it was of benefit to you. Definitely, you know, put aside those things that no longer serve you and be the person that you really are. You know, as the skunk says, know your worth. And when things seem dark, know that love is all around. Sing that song. And the song comes just at the end of the night, just before the dawn. So let's go on over to the extended reading. It's on Vimeo. And there will be pulling a Shaman oracle card for each of the signs. And we'll be taking a look at each of your energies, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. All right, we'll see you later.